how I made my NORI drawing. First, I made the background using the nebula brush in Procreate, which you can find in the luminance section right over here. I put it in this thing called my beautiful set. I textured it to purple and splattered it all around the screen until I got this background. And of course, I did not have this outline yet. But the first thing I did was draw the purple background. Next thing I did was make my sketch. Unfortunately, I do not have my sketch of the body, but I just draw the head first, then the neck, then the waist, as the body, as you can already guess. After sketching the body, I went on to inking the body. Right now it has erases due to the hair is here, the clothes are here, but it used to just be a full body sketch. After sketching the body, I decided to sketch the face of her, which I tried to replicate Nori's eyes, her blush, and do the iconic mouth, whoopsies, and my iconic nose, and decided to give her some freckles because freckles are adorably cute. After doing her face, I made her hair. Her hair style is supposed to represent her ears, as Nori's ears kind of look like this. So I decided to make her hair like this. And these little buns are supposed to represent like space buns. I don't know how to draw space buns, but it's just supposed to hint at space. And even though Nori does not have antennas, I thought it would be cute to make her antennas just to make her look a little bit more like, you know, an alien. And I decided to add star clips because there is a lot of stars on her design. Finally, after drawing her hair, I made her clothes. Her clothes was definitely the hardest part to design, but the most fun, because I wanted to kind of make it freely, because, you know, she's an alien. I decided to make these little, I don't know, what parts of the dress, because on her design, on her ears, she kind of has like these, which I wanted to base it off of. I made these little diamond star thingies because they kind of look like stars, I guess. Just a cute design feature. More patterns in the dress, because why not? There's a lot of stars on her, and the same thing goes for this. For the shoes, I decided to do this as socks because on her muzzle, on Nori's muzzle, she has this little design, so I wanted to incorporate as much as her as I could. The shoes were a little bit harder because I decided it was a really hard design to come up with, even though it's really simple, because I just drew 2 stars. Obviously I drew 2 stars, but I drew a star for each boot and designed this little thing on her because of the straps she has on her actual design. Bam, moving on to coloring. I drew her skin color first, and her skin color was pretty hard to come up with because I wanted to kind of replicate the green, except of course I can't really replicate it. And I kind of wanted to go into softer neutral to display how Nori is a soft and kind, humble person. Well, not person, but alien. And of course I had to do the shadows. After moving on to the shadows, I drew the pink little blushes, and I decided to add shadows based on what colors. So since this is will be a blue dress, I added the blue and green combo to get this color, to make it shaded. Since these are going to be yellow, I added yellow shadings here, just little details that you won't notice. Since this is green, I just made it darker and lowered the opacity. And I don't even know why her hair doesn't have shadows here, but it was supposed to. My lazy just didn't do it. I actually didn't draw these stars on the layer, I just kind of merged them together, but I'll show that later. The next thing I did was the hair, and the hair was definitely the hardest part of the entire coloring process, and maybe even the drawing, because with the hair, I wanted to go for an ombre of her dress kind of colors, or the colors that she wears. So purple, blue, green, and yellow, because those are her main colors. And I wanted to do an ombre of that hair, which was really hard to get since on Procreate you don't have a really good blend, so I had to use a Gaussian blur and this little smudge tool with Soft Blend 1. So yeah, and using that, I accidentally was like, so I was erasing over here because there was some little bits and bobs that I didn't like over here, and I actually, during this, I was using Soft Blend 1, which has this weird like airbrush texture around it. What? I'm not even on the right layer. It has this weird airbrush texture around it, which made her hair look like kind of like faded out, which was not the look I was going for. As you can see right here, it's kind of faded, and I actually exited out of the program, and once you're in the program, like not the program, but the drawing, you can't really hit undo, so I had to kind of go under this layer and color the hair. But nothing really much besides that, just an ombre, and I added the star clips, yellow because more stars in her hair. Very pretty, very demure. Moving on to the dress, this is really where kind of the life comes into it. I don't know, I wanted to do blue for the dress because there are some blue accents on her, and I feel like she just didn't have enough blue on her. So I wanted to include blue on the dress, and of course this purple, because on Nori's design, on, what layer are we on? Why can't I draw? Oh. Okay, but honestly, yeah, for most of these layers, I used kind of alpha lock because it's just so helpful. Like, I use that tool every time. But really, moving on, like, she has kind of like, it's colored in purple. So I wanted to incorporate that with this. And the shading was pretty easy to figure out. It's since I decided the light I wanted to come from the top, it's going to be kind of like coming down through here. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. But, you know, so I just added these light shadings. Same for all of this, really, since, you know, it's kind of coming down on here. Random thoughts coming out of my mind. Really, though. And then I added yellow stars because, of course. And this is going to be yellow because it's like yellow sparkles. I don't know. Yeah. Moving on to shoes. For the shoes, for the main part of the shoes, I did the nebula design again to kind of get this cool textured look on her boots. I thought it would look really cool, and it does, which I'm super happy about. Yellow star again because yellow. More purple. It's all just mainly purple because I needed more of like a vibrant purple, since yeah, there are some purple sprinkled around in here, and there isn't enough purple on Nori's design, so I felt like this is the nice hint. And of course I had to do purple on here because Nori's muzzle is actually purple. Yeah. So I did that over here. Now the character is finally done. But not really, because in the process, I haven't added all the highlights yet. And I decided I was going to add like the highlights or like the extras. So actually on here, I did bloom for the top, and I don't know what's going on here, but there was actually supposed to be on lighter color, I think. Yeah, it was supposed to be on lighter color, except I don't know why it's not, but I added a lighter color, and I don't know why that's shining through, but still. And that was mainly it for the hair. I think I just added that mainly. But now the character is finally done. And now I need to show you guys the background. So actually the first thing I did for the background was this little kind of like aurora lights, I don't know. And I used light pen, which you also find in the luminance category. And at first I was just like choosing her main colors. So actually, what's going on? Oh, of course. Well, at first, actually, it was just supposed to be like this and just have that in the background because honestly, it looks really cool. And I added all the other main colors, but then I just kind of blended them with the Gaussian blur, and that looks super cool. So I actually really like this better, so I chose to do that. After that, I chose to do the stars, and the stars are on a pin light coloring, which have these little stars. I copy and pasted the three stars, angled them and rotated them in different directions, copy and pasted them into another layer so I can add shadowing. Then I just draw these little stars around it. And honestly, I added little stars in the background just with light pen again. Most of all of this is just with light pen. They're supposed to look like little stars, and when you zoom in, this does not look like a star. But when you zoom out, it really just looks like some little stars in the background. And finally, to complete this artwork, I drew a little planet right in the corner with soft blend, which is you find in the airbrushing. But yeah, that's really it. That's how I made my NORI human alien hybrid drawing. Thank you so much for watching, and please subscribe.